Hello and welcome to Pre-Match Focus with your host, me, Tim.
And me, Lee. I almost pressed leave then, closing that. So I was back for about a record 3 seconds and I was about to leave you again.
Great start.
I know.
How have you been, mate?
All good, mate, all good. Good holiday in good old Skegness.
Skeggy.
Yeah. First time I've been there since a child, so no, it was the kids enjoyed it as the main thing.
Did you meet
And I
Wayne?
quite enjoyed it. I saw a few people that looked a bit like the Wayne you described, but I didn't pluck up the courage to go and ask him just in case I got decked or something. Because I might take offence to it, especially if I describe him the way you describe him.
Poor Wayne. Oh, well.
Sure he's about somewhere. Sure he's about.
So, mad start to the football campaign.
Yeah, it's turning out a bit like the Championship at the moment, isn't it? Some of that. I mean, like, I thought the tips going quite well, and a few of your results came in bang on as well last week. So
I did notice.
Yeah.
I was like, God, bloody,
Yeah.
even first one I think was as well.
Yeah, I think you definitely got 2 full results right. So and probably another one if I'm thinking of. But I remember definitely 2, which it's not easy to pick an actual result, is it? No,
No.
yeah. Just to pick the win is one thing, but to actually get the bet result is pretty good. So no, I think we did quite well last week in terms of.
I think we did do quite well. I think some of the tips were quite good as well last week.
Yeah, there was somewhere I was thinking throughout the match where I was where I thought I'd gone for a certain thing. Like on the ones that I didn't get the actual result, I'm thinking I think it might have been the Brighton game. I was thinking, yeah, I've had corners or something in that, and it turned out that wasn't what I had. So I got all excited thinking, oh, I've got that as well. I looked on my slip and I was like, no, I haven't. There must have been something that crossed my mind and wish I'd have gone for that. So never mind, we'll get there.
Right, then, let's crack on then, shall us?
Yes.
Right then. So we've got games on Saturday the 20th of August, Sunday the 21st of August, and Monday the 22nd of August. So starting with the 12:30 kickoff on Saturday, which sees Tottenham at home to your boys Wolves. What are you saying, Leroy?
Well, what a difference a week makes, I suppose. I mean, we've ended up signing the world-class midfielder. Yes, he's unproven over here, but I've no doubt that he's going to come and really put himself. I mean, for me, Matthias Nunes is probably going to be here for the season, and that'll probably be it, especially if he impresses. He has signed on the 5-year deal.
Especially if he finished 15th.
Yeah. I think whatever happens, I mean, like, unless we somehow get Champions League, but I think he's actually come to England to get
it's a bit of game time.
Yeah, and put himself in that way. He'll be Liverpool or City around it, They're the ones that have been touted for him. So they'll have to pay double the price now, I suppose. So maybe there's a silver lining.
100 million, please.
Yeah, I'll be happy with taking that. So. Have we got? I mean, if we can get 44 million for Gibbs White, then
show me the money. God blame it's like United tax. This is what people need to start doing. This is what United need to start doing. Maguire, 400 million. People...
You went far off paying it, was you, from Leicester?
It felt like it. Oh, I
ain't
going there.
Especially in terms of the wages on top of what they've paid for the fee. So I bet it ain't a million miles off. Did you hear about the Gibbs White news about him going
40 million,
yeah, a bit too much. I know a lot of. I mean, you can't turn down that price, especially.
Oh, blimey, Wolves are laughing there, mate. You can't.
Well, I've
always for that.
I know. I've always been a massive supporter of him, even through his bad times.
And I wouldn't mind ruling out just yet United going in and panic buying Ruben Neves.
Yeah, well, will he want to go there at the moment?
Well, you've got some money, and then you'll get some more money. So you need to get some transfers in, innit?
I think if Gibbs White was staying, then there'd be a possibility of one of the other players leaving. But I'll be surprised if anyone else leaves now, unless obviously say panic buy means big money, doesn't it? So,
That's United.
Yeah. Is it Casemiro seems likely for United, doesn't he? So
Yeah, what's that all about?
yeah, well, he's a decent player,
What's
isn't
he want
he?
then?
Yeah. I know there must be something really wrong at Real
Head up
Madrid.
for Champions League, me. Done it too much. Won it all. Can't be asked. Want to stay in on a Wednesday night, you know. United's
What's a break?
good.
He's got the World Cup coming up as well, so he might win that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the Spurs game, I mean, like, there's a lot of people that are heavily backing Spurs, but
I don't know. I think they'll be up there. As I say, I think they'll get a third, and I think it'll be Chelsea. Yeah, and I think it'll be Chelsea and Arsenal battling it out for fourth.
well, we've got. I mean, they didn't play well at all last week, but they still managed to get that result. I know the referee's decision sort of influenced how they got the goals, but Man United used to do that back in the day. Arsenal used to do it when they won titles. So
Yeah, exactly. Can't say too much.
yeah, I'm not saying Spurs are going to win the title, but if they're going to push towards a
They're
more of a
going about
serious
it
challenge,
the right way, aren't they, Lee?
yeah, exactly.
Some of that.
You have to
Some
be a bit
grit.
nasty at times, don't you? So,
Some of that cheating.
yeah, it's the only way you get to the top, mate. Cheating.
Conte time. Conte time. Hey, what's going on? All that.
You might not have that. Watch it look like Tuchel robbed him last week.
Yeah, I know. I tell you what, that kick nearly kicked off. I'd have bet money on Conte smashing him though.
I know. I mean, Tuchel's fairly tall, isn't he? But he hasn't got much to him, has he? So I know how tenacious Conte was back in the day. So yeah, he had a bit of a forceful handshake with him, didn't he? Sort of pulled him back.
Yeah.
I think Tuchel was trying to laugh it off and maybe got a bit scared after he realised what strength.
Yeah, I think so.
Conte got.
It looked a bit like that, I must admit. Right, well, quickly, I'll just run through the injuries. So, Aguerd and Dawson are the injury doubts for Tottenham. One could potentially reach the bench. Oh no, Romero
That's
skipping
West Ham now, isn't he? I was thinking Dawson. There's like Marco
Romero
Dawson.
skipping Longley. God blame me. It's been a long day today. Right, Romero skipping Longley for Tottenham, and it's Chiquinho, Jimenez, and Moutinho for.
So there's no Romero for Spurs.
No.
Oh,
He could be on the bench potentially. He said 21st is his estimated date.
okay. That makes me more confident if he's not playing. I know he's a little nasty bugger when he wants to be, but that's what you need.
Don't be, mate. don't be. It's just going to end up in upset.
I know, yeah. I've got to be careful with the Wolves, haven't I? No, but we have got a good record at Spurs, whether it's been at Wembley, even back in the day under the McCarthy years, we used to pick a result out there. We've got a really good record away to them.
But then there was Conte.
Yeah, well, we beat him with him last year as well. So.
Yeah, I know. Well, I suppose.
Has he had a touchline ban? There was rumours of
Mason.
Mason.
I think they've had a match ban.
I've not heard anything since on it. I mean, it might not change the way he approaches it, but he won't be on there to instill fear.
He'll be stood above bollocking him instead. Still hear him. Anyway, I've gone with 2-0 Tottenham, I'm afraid, buddy.
I'm more optimistic because, I mean, like, I'd have been more optimistic if we'd have kept Gibbs White, but obviously he's off now. But Nunes coming in, if he starts, I think we could shock them a little bit. We can outwork him a bit in the middle now with the work rate of Nunes and Neves. Then Donker's had a good start to the season. I'd imagine he'll be the third midfielder in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I've gone for us to get a 1-1 draw there.
Oh.
And
go for it, Leroy. I love your enthusiasm.
No, I'm just. There's certain teams when we go to away games, I feel like they don't really scare me. Even if they end up beating us in the build up to the game, it's like Everton. When we go to Everton, I'm always confident we'll beat them away. Certainly,
I'm always confident anyone will beat Everton these days.
I think everyone's confident.
So what's your tip for that one anyway, mate?
I've gone for Wolves double chance on that one. Let's not forget Gonçalo Guedes as well as in there. Completely missed him, as you know, if he's won game single-handedly for Valencia. So if he can pull that up for Wolves, then sweet.
This is the Premier League, and he won't.
It is.
History proves this. So anyway, Everton is starting off with the first of the 3 o'clocks, which is Crystal Palace at home to Aston Villa.
Yeah, I briefly mentioned that I wish we never done the pre-season show because I think I made myself look a fool, and I've not been impressed by Villa at all.
I haven't.
And I was sort of looking at it blindly. Obviously, Diego Carlos getting out for season is a massive blow for them. He would have been good for them throughout the year. Coutinho is just missing.
It's like playing with 10 men.
Yeah, they have got good players. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. There's something they haven't quite clicked with there yet. Villa, is it? So Palace have pretty much gone into the same way as last season, haven't they?
Finishing strong, don't they, every time?
Yeah, I mean,
holding out results, quite resilient, right? You know, they've looked quite good.
Yeah, they've had the toughest start on paper, really. With, I mean, especially if this had been before the start of the season, where obviously I said I haven't been impressed with Villa, but I did put them 7th in my prediction.
I put them up high, I think.
Yeah, so you know,
10th,
they could
10th or 11th. I think I said I can't remember.
We could have had. They could have started out with Arsenal, Liverpool, and Villa, and well, they haven't. They've managed to get a point at Liverpool. Play well, the look at times, but you know, to go to Anfield and get a point is good stuff, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dangerous on the counter. I think I'll probably try and play that game again against Villa. I suppose. I think expect Villa to have more of the ball. I think Palace are just more potent at the moment, and Zaha seems to take his chances better. He's maturing a bit.
He's looking a lot better, isn't he? A lot calmer under pressure.
Yeah, I'll say he just looks more composed when he gets through on goal now. He proved that against Liverpool. He was doing it towards the end of last season as well.
Mm-hmm. I'll just run through the injuries. So doubts. So Crystal Palace is Ferguson, Butland, MacArthur, and Tompkins, and Aston Villa is Courtney Hawes. So
he'll probably be loaned out anyway. If they're signing another defender, I think that's probably influenced my decision for Palace to win this 1-2-1 this week. I mean, it's the fortress at the best of times, isn't it, Palace? You know?
Yeah.
Villa didn't convince on the road against Bournemouth, so if you're going by their away form, if they're going to lose to teams like Bournemouth, then I can't see them getting anything against Palace, really.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Well, I've gone with 1-0 Crystal Palace as well.
Yeah, I've gone 2-1. I have, so yeah, it's gone. But if I remember rightly, I think there's been a few feisty encounters in the last few, especially at Selhurst, and I think they had that big hoo-ha about, was it Grealish a few seasons ago?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So that's, again, influenced my decision that they might have a little bit of hate for each other. So there's 40 booking points on that.
40 booking points. Okay, we'll move swiftly on to Everton at home to Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, this is actually, even though we've
could be a good game, that though.
Yeah, I think it will be for the neutral, especially. I mean, Everton fans do get behind him, but also like make it really a bit of a poison chalice at times if they don't get things their own way. And I thought Forest rode the luck, to be fair, against West Ham last
yeah,
week.
definitely did.
But against, I mean, West Ham, yeah, they lost the first 2 games, but you know, there's quality in that team to cause anyone problems. So Forest are always going to have chances going against them. But again, like I mentioned in the pre-season show, that we're still got to gel that team together.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty much
still signing.
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't know if Morgan will be in there registered in time, maybe on the bench, maybe. But,
well, I've gone with 2-1 Forest, I think.
I've gone one apiece. I think, like I say, Forest have just got to gelled together. They didn't do much away. I know it's a completely different team in Newcastle who are high on confidence compared to Everton being low on confidence. But as much as Forest want to sign Everton, they've got to be looking at these games to get points out of. Yeah. They'll want to win the game, obviously. But I think Forest might just nick some here, so I've gone for a 1-1 draw.
Okay, and what's your tip for that one, Lee?
Both teams to score.
Okay, let's move swiftly on to another 3 o'clock, which is Fulham at home to Brentford, London derby. Nice.
Yeah, well.
Oh, can I just quickly go over Everton and Nottingham Forest? So Everton have got Townsend, Godfrey, Mina, Calvert-Lewin, Gomez, Loureiro and Decore out. And Nottingham Forest without Richards, Colback and Yates. So on to Fulham and Brentford, Lee.
Yeah, London derby, close neighbours, aren't they? So I've been quite impressed with Fulham. I mean, like a lot of whoever went to the Wolves game probably say against Fulham would say that time wasting and that. But the Brentford did it when they come up and against us last season, as a mound about a fair bit.
Exactly.
But they had a point to play for. They played a high line against us in the first 10-15 minutes. Fulham did, and as soon as they found out that Neto and Wang were just going in round the back so easily, it didn't take Silva long to change that, and that's what got them a stalemate in the end. And he's obviously tactically clued up as well. He's never really had a big team, has he, Silva?
No.
So he's always had it up against him in the Premier League. Obviously, Everton probably had more ambition at the time when he was there, but when you look at Watford, Hull, teams that were, in what Fulham's position are now, so battling to stay up. But I've been impressed with him. I actually do think if they keep this up, they'll probably will finish above the bottom 3.
Yeah, I think they'll stay up, to be honest.
It's hard to say at the moment. It's still
looking at how they are. Yeah, but they've been without, obviously in this game, they've got Wilson, Bryan, Pereira, Decadova, Reed, and Solomon missing.
Yeah, big players.
Brentford are without Ayer, Canos, and Pinnock.
Yeah, Fulham have got some big players missing there, haven't they? So, but if they can put up the same fight against Liverpool, they've got to try and imagine they're playing Liverpool every week, I suppose.
That's the thing, isn't it? You've got to have that mentality every week.
Yeah.
I've gone with 2-1 Fulham.
Yeah, I can't go against Brentford in terms of losing the game because, as bad as Man United were last week, performance on Brentford we got to add on top of that. So I do think Brentford will concede. So I've gone again for a 1-1 here.
Sitting on the fence again, Lee.
Yeah, that's the last stand that we did. I did think that, when you go for the first few fixtures, you're thinking, but that's the same score. But apart from one, that's the last draw.
Right, what's your tip for that one then, Lee?
10+ corners. Pretty small ground in terms of length, isn't it? So
yeah,
2 teams floating over a few balls. I think they'll be.
It should be easy to get corners on that, shouldn't it?
Hopefully.
Yeah. Right, on to the last of the 3 o'clocks on Saturday is Leicester at home to Southampton. This screams draw to me all over. I'm not going to lie. I've gone with a score draw as well. 2-2.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, I think there'll always be goals in these.
There's been a massive amount of goals. I think you put the 2 teams together, this has had the most goals involved between the 2.
I think so, forever. So, yeah, 2-2, potentially 3-3, but I'm going to go with 2-2. And while I'm at it...
Not 9-0.
No. Leicester without Ricardo Pereira, Bertrand and Barnes, and Southampton without Livramento, Shea Adams, Walcott and Perrault. Okay?
Is Walcott still playing?
Yeah, I know. It feels like he's been playing forever.
I think they've left him on the squad list from 2000. I think they left him on the squad list from 2002 whenever he come through it, haven't they?
Crazy.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a nice scoring game. I haven't gone too high score in terms of prediction, but don't be surprised to see more. I've gone 2-1 to Leicester. Both struggle to defend. Both can put the ball in the back of the net. And Southampton aren't as bad as what people probably think when it actually comes to match day. They've got some good players, haven't they? But I don't know. I think there's going to be a lack of consistency or killer instinct on their behalf.
James Ward-Prowse, Aribo, 2-0.
Yeah, Rebo will pop up with a few goals. He's, like I say, he's one of those who'll have an amazing week and probably a piss poor week the other week.
Oh, yeah, definitely. 100%. He's definitely got that in his bag. What's your tip for this one, then, Lee?
Take your pick from both teams to score over 2.5 on this one, whichever sees more value.
Okay. And to the 5:30, which sees Bournemouth host Arsenal. And Arsenal are flying.
Yeah. Well, can't say anything of it. I know Bournemouth won the first home game, but like I say, against the Villa team that started off poorly.
Yeah.
And I think Bournemouth naturally had a good record against Villa anyway, to be honest with you. But now I can't see them getting nothing out of this one. I think even though I think that was the one result that got bang on last week, it was 4-0 City. They kept Haaland quiet, didn't they? But then when you keep Haaland quiet, you go worry about all the rest, don't you? So, and this will probably be the same. I think I could see something like them trying to focus too much on Jesus in this one, and then you got Martinelli, Saka, Smith Rowe, and all that.
Smith Rowe might be on the bench if he's lucky. So you've got for Bournemouth, Brooks, Rothwell, and Fredericks, and are out or potentially out. And Arsenal, Vieira and Nelson. So Smith Rowe could be on the bench.
Yeah. I did hear things that he was very close to being back in the match squad. I don't know whether he was actually in the squad last week, whether he made it or not.
Mm-hmm.
I've gone for a 3-0 Arsenal on this one.
Ooh, I've gone with 3-1 Arsenal.
I think they're seeing a bit more defensively assured this year, don't they? To me. I mean, yeah, Leicester scored 2, but Leicester have been capable of scoring a couple every game if they really want to. Just concede just as many.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah. And what's your tip for the Bournemouth match then, mate?
Arsenal to score the very least over 1.5 team goals. So if they score 2, that wins you the bet.
Okay. On to Sunday, the 21st of August. There's 2 fixtures at 2 o'clock. First is Leeds hosting Chelsea.
But I remember watching most of this game in Molineux last season when Leeds were on. I think this looked like the game which looked like Leeds could be gone. And they played Chelsea. It was before one of the late games we had, I think. And it's a really feisty game. There was an early red card. I think it's Dan James who got sent off, a bit controversially. But even though there weren't many bookings in the game, it was the tensions are high in it. And, yeah, and like I say, with the Palace Villa game, where it's where there's a little bit of history to it, and sometimes things aren't forgotten, are they, in football? But you could see something happening here again. Chelsea played really well last week. I was really impressed with the style of football they played. Unfortunate not to get the win.
Yeah, they were.
But they didn't. And that's, something they should be used to in seeing the game plan through their own benefit usually, rather than being on the wrong end of it.
Yeah.
So they can't really complain that much because they've probably had so many go their way when they haven't had a great game. Well, of being a Wolves fan again, I'll bring it up. A lot of times we've gone to Stamford Bridge and somehow they've managed to take some out of the game because we've outplayed them usually at Stamford Bridge.
I was saying they just can't put the ball in the net sometimes. So anyway, Leeds are out. Dallas, Ayling, Junior Firpo, Cooper, Bamford potentially on the bench, and Gelhardt. And Chelsea could potentially be without Kovacic. Alonso is obviously trying to sort his transfer to Barcelona out. and Kante. And yeah, I've gone with 2-1 Chelsea.
2-0 I've gone for. 2-0 Chelsea. Yeah, 40 booking points would be the tip, as I think we could find another feisty game between the two.
Yeah, I think you could be right. They've definitely got it in him. So the second of the 2 o'clock kickoffs is West Ham at home to Brighton.
I'm gonna say it straight away. It's my least favourite bet under 2.5 goals.
Oh, it's going to be one of them. Do you reckon?
Yeah, it's probably going to be about 4-4 now, isn't it? I think I'd now just think Brighton are well drilled, aren't they? Then
I've gone for under 2.5 goals as well. I've gone with 1-1.
Okay. But it's still, like you say, it's still winning. I just thought West Ham were really wasteful against Forest, and they didn't score against City either. So could they go into a third game? I mean, whatever happens in the Europa League game tonight, so now they're playing some farmer team. I
don't think it'll take too long before Skamaka starts scoring, mate.
Yeah, he had a couple of chances when he come on last week, didn't he? I'm sure he had a chance against City, didn't he, on his debut as well?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the first weekend because I was stuck in the caravan.
Yeah.
I can't rewind or anything on them. So my memories of the first weekend are very vague, especially after the Wolves. Yeah, I just think Brighton are really well organised. West Ham away.
They look good, and they look good again. They battered us, and then they brought Lamptey and somebody else on. I can't remember who. I was like, oh, blimey, they didn't even start with them.
Well, there's this. I know we reached Shiseido, but I haven't seen much of him. But Man United have been in for him, haven't they?
Oh, he's just Casado, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like he's absolutely pulled in.
Trying to find a gem, I think. We're trying to find a gem.
5 years' time in the Championship.
Another Cantona, like, you know.
You never know. Some of them just come out of the woodwork, don't they? And then turn out amazing. But
just don't fit in at one place and works another place. So, what's your score prediction for that?
It was 0-0.
0-0.
0-0.
Bleak.
That was my last straw, honestly.
So on to the 4:30, which sees the Battle of the Arabians, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Newcastle at home to City.
Yeah, like I said earlier, when I think it was a Villa game, I says I wish we hadn't done the pre-match show because I feel like stupid. I had Liverpool to win the league, didn't I? And even though we're only 2 games in, I think they've just completely blown out already now. I think City, they're just going to be relentless this year, I think.
I think they are as well.
Yeah. It's like I listened to on the show last week, obviously, when I was on holiday, and you're saying Haaland will score a ton load against Bournemouth. And I think that's what Bournemouth's game plan was, to keep him out of the game. But then you've got everyone else to worry about, especially when you've got players like Kevin De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva and Grealish run it, you know.
It's crazy. There's so much talent in that squad.
Yeah. Phil Foden as well, of course, going to score shit, didn't he? So.
Yeah, Gundogan. Right, so I'll just go through the injuries for the Newcastle City game. So Newcastle are without Shelby, Fernandez, Lewis, Kraft, Target, and Fraser. Target could be on the bench. And City will be without Laporte, Phillips, and Cole Palmer. So what do you think this scoreline is going to be, you?
I think 2-1 to City.
I think 3-1 City.
Yeah, I'm excited. Well, the tip will be over 2.5 goals. I'm expecting. I mean, these games are usually a lot tighter than what usually like since the takeover, definitely. So, but yeah, I can see Newcastle scoring. I can see obviously City getting a couple every game they play usually. So
yeah, definitely.
There's just too much to worry about with that attack now.
Mm-hmm. Right then, on to Monday Night Football. So 8 o'clock kickoff sees the big game. It's going to be heavily one-sided. Man United at home to Liverpool, and I'm going to put it out there, 5-1 Liverpool.
Oh, well, that's just completely killed me out for this relegation battle at the early start of the season. Yeah, I'll quickly do my bit, and then you can have your rant because
I'm not even doing it. Not ranting. Just eagerly anticipating a takeover. I think we'll finish about 15th this year.
but
Unless something changes and they get some signings through the door before this deadline, I just can't see it. I just think doomed, because we've seen they've all been found out again. He's carried over. It's just awful. So anyway, go on. I'm going with 5-1 Liverpool, or it'll be close to that.
well, Liverpool haven't been amazing at the start of the season, but they'll definitely be. I think this could be the worst thing for United that could have happened was Liverpool's start, because they're going to.
Lying now.
Yeah, they want to get closing it, especially if City slip up on the Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Then that could be even worse for United. So, but at the same time, again, if City win, then Liverpool have got to keep close to them. So, yeah, I can only see a Liverpool win after what I witnessed last week. It was. I actually mentioned to someone. I actually mentioned to someone, because obviously this was around the time when I was growing up. I think, yeah, you're probably got around about the same era. So obviously, you know, when Liverpool were the dominant side like United were in the 90s.
Yeah.
Do you think this United decline is worse than what Liverpool's was when I was growing up watching Liverpool finish 6th, 7th?
I reckon it might be on a par.
But I always remember Liverpool having something about them.
Liverpool almost fell off a cliff briefly. So,
yeah.
And yeah, I just think things take time. When you've got a bunch of players which kind of held a 20-odd year period together, you don't get that very often. Lucky to have that at all. And obviously City, they get it, they're keeping the core players all the time, but it's easy when you're winning. So it just needs to be winning. And I think once United start, like they did in pre-season, once they start winning and finding a way, I think they'll do all right. But he's just got to find his right players, and he's got to keep Harry Maguire out of that team. He's got to keep Luke Shaw away from that team, Diogo Dalot away from that team, and David De Gea is having an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
So, and his ball distribution is horrendous. So it's time to start playing with. I'd play Tom Eaton first, I think.
Yeah, I don't think he's as well known for his distribution as well as Eaton, but that's probably where the issues lie. I think they've been linked with a few backup goalies, but might take. I think I bet Henderson's sort of like kicking himself at the moment, isn't he? But
yeah, I bet.
I bet.
So anyway, let me just say Pellistri, Marshall, Brandon Williams, and Lindelof doubts for United, and Thiago, Jota, Nunes, Jones, Matip, Kelleher, Firmino, Oxlade, Chamberlain, Kanate, and Ramsey for Liverpool.
So
that gives me slight hope. So
I was reading out the actual
playing instead, filling in.
I think it's going to be closer because Liverpool, like you just mentioned there, most of the depth of there. So even though they've got a fantastic first 11, there has been a few players missing here and there, haven't there? So you had people like Nat Phillips, who decent defender, but he's not a top end of the league defender, is he, for me? But yeah, Liverpool to win, obviously. But I don't think it'll be as bad as what I think. They've got to cut out a few things to this game. United, I don't think they can be playing short passes around the 6-yard box against Liverpool. Brentford probably push it a little bit harder than Liverpool, probably a bit more relaxed about it, I suppose, knowing that they'll probably have domination of the possession. So, well, meant to be. They see what I mean. Ten Hag's way is going to be to want more of the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Liverpool possess more quality on that pitch.
So what are you saying?
I've gone 2-1 Liverpool.
Beating around the bush there, Leroy.
Surely to God they can't end up conceding over 10 goals in the first 3 games. That's Wolves 2003 form.
Someone turned around to me at work and said, Last time United won they lost the opening 2 games. They won the league. I wouldn't bet you up on that.
I think they're already out contention for that already. I think mathematically.
Yeah, if you turn the league upside down, we're doing really well.
Yeah, it's great.
So what's your tip for this one?
I've got a funny feeling there might be a penalty in this match. I don't know what way it could go, but yeah, just an actual penalty so happened in the game.
Okay.
Just got a funny feeling that might come.
Rightio. Well, that concludes pre-match focus for this week. Please get involved. Please like, share, and subscribe. Click on the bell button to keep in touch with all our future shows and as they're uploaded. And yeah, hope the tips are good for you this week. Hope we've given you enough insight with everything, with the injuries, in case you think sometimes, we said this, but such a body was out, and he was out, and he was out. So hope it all goes well for you guys. And good to see you, Lee. And
you, mate. Nice to be back. Good to see you too.
Yeah, it was weird talking to myself. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, good
I
to
quite enjoyed it because I haven't got to listen to my accents. So.
I hate listening to mine, so I'd never play it back. But anyway, guys, good to see everybody, and get involved. Send us some messages. Let us know how you got on and whether we won for you, I suppose. See you directly.
See you later. Good luck, guys.
Take care, guys. See you soon.